Hello, hello. It is Direct Mail Monday, November 5th, 2018. Steve Sipress here on the eve of Election Day 2018. For those that care about that kind of stuff. I care. I always vote, my patriotic duty, but when it comes to business, of course, I don't let whoever's in office determine my income or my enjoyment of life, and I help my clients do the same. However, who is in office, and I don't just mean who's the governor of the state I'm in or the president of the country or in Congress or local or whatever it is, doesn't affect how much enjoyment I'm going to get, how much money I'm going to make. It affects the strategies you're going to use, right? So when we had a socialist president for 8 years, anti-small business, you didn't build that, all that BS, there were certain strategies we had to take. Now we have an extremely pro-small business owner and small business in general, president in the office, in the White House. There are different strategies that we take. We're going to end up in the same place anyway, but I still vote in the election. So, and Jim is here. Good seeing you. So here it is, folks. All of the mail pieces that I've received throughout the entire political campaign. Now, before I get to that, just for anybody watching, think about how many TV commercials, if you watch TV, how many TV commercials you've seen for elections. Now, here in Arizona, we actually have two important elections going on. We have the governor is up for election, and we have a senator, one of our two senators, up for election. So we have had the two most bizarre / worst. There's a long list of them. I don't know how you can rank the worst senators, but certainly the two we had for the last few years here in Arizona were among the worst. You had a complete flake and another one who used to be a maverick, this and that, and then just redefined the term magic to I'll do whatever I damn please, no matter how much it hurts the people that voted for me. So it's good that we're getting to one has been replaced already as an interim, and we're replacing the other one tomorrow. And we'll take office in a couple of months or whenever they do, and we'll see how that happens. So because of those two races and then all the assorted other ones going on, we've had an unbelievable number of television commercials, radio commercials, all kinds of emails, robocalls, my phone all the time. As of tomorrow, maybe even today, hopefully, those robocalls stop and I can get back to actually talking to people when I answer the phone. And also ads in various different ways of advertising in print, online, all that kind of stuff. But smart political candidates, or they're not usually know anything about marketing. Again, we have an exception of the person in the White House, but usually their campaign manager ought to be really adept at using one of the most powerful ways in marketing, which is direct mail. And yet, when I was in Illinois, where my beautiful wife Michelle owned a home and lived there for, about 15 years or so, I would get tons of political direct mail, and I shared it on videos. I guess you can go back on my Rhino Daily blog or YouTube, and you can find them, or on Facebook or wherever. There was no Facebook Live videos back then. Wherever I put them, I would go through all the different pieces. But here in Arizona, we've been here 3 years, so this is the second election year we've been here, but here is all of the direct mail I've received for the campaign. Now, before I show everything, let me just explain that, of course, I'm a registered voter. I always vote. But, of course, I would also, just as obviously as I would always vote, I would not possibly be a member of any of the two major entrenched, corrupt, self-serving, horrible political parties there are. So I don't get to vote in either one of their ridiculously self-serving, corrupt primaries. Primary itself probably isn't self-serving corrupt. It's just that pretty much everything anyone in either of those two parties do, the whole purpose, whole idea of those two parties, and they're unbelievably so much, any even casual observer, any objectivity at all will know that they are so much more alike than any differences they have. So they team up to be corrupt and self-serving and do everything they can to further their own agendas, and do only if it happens to also coincidentally benefit the taxpayers. That's just a coincidence. They don't do anything for the taxpayers. Lost my light there for a sec. So That might stop me from getting a lot of mail, but I'm not one of either party. So people that are drawing a list, renting a list to mail to, might want to, a liberal candidate's going to want to rent lists of liberals. So one of the surest ways is you get the list of registered Democrats, registered liberals. And you want to send conservative stuff, you get registered conservatives or registered Republicans. I'm not on any of those. All I am is somebody who has voted before. That's it. However, since I'm in Arizona and not in the inner city, most of the suburbs, and certainly the outlying areas of the state, as it is throughout the entire country, tend to run more conservative. And it's the big cities, although I'm extremely close to the city. So the suburbs that are extremely close to the cities and the cities themselves are actually the only places in America that run Democrat or liberal. The entire rest, if you look at a color-coded map of the 2016 presidential election, for instance, you'll see almost the entire map red, which is so incredibly ironic, is it not, that the Conservative Party chooses the color red, which is the color of radicals like communists. That's red in China and Russia. They're red. Why would the hello? Somebody get a marketing expert over to these political parties, and then the true blue, who you would think would be conservative, well, that's the color of the liberals, the progressives, the radicals, the Democrats. So the colors are switched. But anyway, you look at a map, and the Republican, red covering like, I don't know what, 90-something%. However, the little bits that are blue, that are the liberal areas, have, needless to say, I don't know, 1,000 times more the people, the density of population. So that's why the election comes out almost every year 50-50. And all across America, it's like that a lot. So all that being said, let me share, and I will critique every single piece of direct mail I have received about the political, about Election Day tomorrow. And I see Jeremy Danley is here. So here it comes. Now, buckle up. This could be a long video here. I'm going to critique every single direct mail piece I have received related to politics this year. Okay, we'll start with this one. This is an oversized postcard. So one lesson to be learned, send an oversized postcard, not a little one that gets lost in the sauce and discarded. This has to stand out, gets attention, full color, red, white, blue. So this is a conservative message. And it's going to come with red, white, and blue, because conservatives tend to value the colors and the flag and the national anthem and all that kind of stuff. They tend to be more patriotic. There are more veterans. There are more people fly a flag, wear a flag lapel pin, love the country. Almost by definition, the liberals, I know they love to say, oh, but we love the country too, but almost by definition, you actually do not. Someone that says, I want to fund, my goal is to fundamentally change the country because you love it so much? No, he would tell you, and his followers would tell you, it's because he loves what it could be. Well, what it could be is not what it is. So either you love what it is or you love what it could be. And I'm not doing relationship counseling here, but it's the same in relationships, right? Always they'll tell the people getting into that relationship, don't fall in love with the potential of what the person could be, because you could change them, because they're not going to change, and that means you don't love them the way they are, and all that kind of stuff. Well, so these radicals that go, I want to change everything, and we need hope, and we need change, and we want to change, and I love the country. No, they do not. They love what they think the country might be someday. But conservatives actually love the country, and they talk about the founders, and they talk about looking at the original Constitution and the way the framers meant it. And the liberals and the radicals say, yeah, but let's interpret everything like it's today, and oh, we could be, and what if, and all that kind of stuff. So red, white, and blue are colors you would, especially politically, use them for either party, either message, but especially you want to have that for a conservative message. And this is, because the conservative message is, now, we have governors on the ballot tomorrow, the senators on the ballot, of course, all of the House of Representatives, they're all on the ballot. And then we have all kinds of, the typical, and around here we have like the I forget it, like the mine inspector. Mine inspector. he going to expect yours? No, he's going to expect mine. Anyway, but we also have 6 ballot initiatives statewide. 5 or 6, I think 5 or 6. And then we have 6 or 7, I think, locally. Now, here's the deal. Smart marketers also write up those ballot measures, and they write the critiques and the pros and the cons of the ballot measures, and then they put out all these campaign pieces and posters near the polls as near as they can get, and the commercials and all the, and postcards. This is about a ballot measure. So these things are, you can learn a lot of good lessons in marketing just from the name of what they're called and the way they're described, but they're so utterly confusing. Am I the only one? If I wait until I get into the voting booth to think I'm going to read this ballot measure and trying to figure out whether I'm for it or against it, good luck. So I depend on the direct mail coming to help me to determine, should I vote yes or should I not? And so here's one that says, vote yes on number 126. Now they come in series, at least here in Arizona. There's 100 series, 200, 300 series. Some are binding, some are not, whatever. But so it's there's not 126 of them, I'm just saying. There's not even 26 of them. But this is number 126. I think it starts at 124, so this might be the third one. But anyway, this is apparently something that will stop, it says right here, this will block politicians from creating a new service sales tax. So a lot of people recently, more than in the past, I got to get some water here, excuse me, because of, in large part because of this tax measure, these Trump tax cuts that also put a ceiling on the state and local taxes that someone can write off on their taxes. All these wealthy people, or just about anybody, is coming from California. Anybody, not just about anybody, but anybody with any kind of decent income at all is saying, whoa, our taxes are so high in California, it's outrageous. I got to write off a heck of a lot more than just $10,000. So I'm out of here. And a lot of them are coming to Arizona. Why? They come to Arizona for lower taxes. And then what do? Their brains just malfunction, and they vote for the same I want to raise your taxes candidates that they voted for that got them into trouble in California. They vote for the same ones here. So we've got some whacked out candidates, first of all, that are running, and we got some really whacked out initiatives. I don't know how they got in the ballot in Arizona, but they want to make us out to be like California or like Illinois, that I got the heck out of and moved away from because of some of the wacky government policies that have the state of Illinois on the verge of bankruptcy. And the city of Chicago, if it was allowed to go bankrupt, would have gone bankrupt long ago. And state of California also, tremendous disaster. I don't need any of that here, personally. But this is one that there's apparently somebody wants to create a new sales tax on services like veterinary services, healthcare, childcare. They're putting stuff people see. This is smart marketing. They're putting issues that people get emotionally attached to, their pets and their kids. Which side am I on? There it is. Their pets, their kids, and their own health. These are very emotional issues. But, of course, it would tax all the services. Auto repair, lawyers. But they're not going to say, oh, it would tax legal services. Nobody's emotionally attached to legal services. That would practically get people to go, oh, good. Tax those damn lawyers. I hate lawyers. So one smart thing here, they're speaking to their audience. And their audience, who, in this case, I'm assuming, this might have gone to everybody, but it might have gone to people they think could be conservative to get out the vote, because conservatives, people that love freedom and love what America's all about, supposed to be all about, has been all about, tendencies to be driven off the cliff in the other direction, but it's all about freedom. And so is owning your own business. It's all about freedom. So clearly it's a number one issue for me, and the number one thing in life that I love is freedom. And that's why I love America, except that the America could become, if we continue to put in office a lot of ridiculous socialist government control types that think you didn't build that and all that BS. So I'm not in favor of more government interfering in business and sucking money out of the pockets of business owners and their customers. So I'm not in favor of creating a new sales tax of any kind. And of course that would cause the economy to stall. And I want to stop the government from taxing anything. And now they add in, see, they're overcoming an objection here. They're adding in that people might think, well, yeah, but if this extra tax, isn't that money going to go to educating my kids? I love my kids. You put here child care. I love my kids. And so they're going to tell you, no, this will not reduce funding for education and will not repeal or nullify any tax fee or other assessment in effect previously. It'll just stop the government, politicians, from creating a new service sales tax. So naming is important if you don't waste it. A lot of companies waste the power of naming by calling their company Joe's Plumbing. Doesn't do anything. It's called me. You hear me talking about it all the time. So great, you stroked your ego, or you make some generic name like Precision something. I don't know, Precision what? Precision, every company could call itself Precision whatever. Doesn't mean anything in the mind of your customer, your prospect. So that's also a useless, meaningless name. But how about this name here? This is called the Vote Yes on 126.com, or the Protect Arizona Taxpayers. I think that's what it's called. It's the Protect Arizona Taxpayers Act. Right away, the name just tells you this is for people that want to protect the taxpayers. In other words, not pay more taxes. That's what it tells me. And keep politicians out of your pockets. It's a great message to people that want more freedom in their life and less control from government. In this case, the same amount of freedom. We're just stopping the government from adding another tax, as if there aren't enough already. And then they have a picture on the other side of some generic, angry, lording it over you politician with a vacuum sucking money out of you into his own pockets until, or wherever he wants to put it, which lots of it will grease his own palms, and he'll give contracts to his brother and his cousin, his campaign donors and his campaign ads, and all that corruption will happen. So no thank you. Less money going to the government. So this thing is working for me. It's telling me to vote yes on 126 if I like freedom. And I would vote no on 126 if I love the government controlling me more and thinking I'm so stupid that I don't know what to do with my own money and the government knows better. Give me a break. I can't imagine there are many Americans, sorry elitists, but I really don't think there's any Americans that think that politicians and bureaucrats are smarter about how to spend our money than we are. I even think the dumbest American would think he's still smarter about where to spend his own money. So no, taxes should not be raised. And yet there's lots of elite, smart people. I know a lot of them, went to school with a lot of them, grew up with a lot of them, a lot in my family. They're book smart, but they think, oh, let's let politicians and bureaucrats decide how to spend my money. Not realizing, have you ever met any of them? They're not smarter than you. They don't have your interest in mind more than you do. Unbelievable. There's a lot of whacked out things on our ballot tomorrow that I'm going to see in the voting booth, and I'm going to vote against them all. And so this is one of them. We're going to vote yes on 126 to protect the taxpayer and stop. Okay, I spent a lot of time on that one piece, and I got a lot. I told you I'm going to go through every political piece. So let's get to the next one. And the next one is, wait, there is no next one. That's it, folks. That is it. I saved up every political piece and said direct mail Monday, day before election day, that's the perfect day to dissect and critique all and teach all the lessons to be learned from every single political piece of mail I'm going to receive in this entire election season. And that is it. One piece. What the heck are you thinking, political people in my area of Arizona? So where would you get lists to mail your political pieces? Well, if you're looking for, again, especially to me, an independent as they come, registered to no party, of course, not either one of these corrupt major parties, that's for sure. Totally independent. I don't care what any, both parties suck, so I don't care whatever party you are. I got to vote for one of you. How would you couldn't just lazily say, I want a list of every registered Democrat and send my liberal message to. How do you find me? Well, you can do selects, they're called, when you go shopping for mail lists. You just want to get your list broker, by the way. Get a good list broker. If you need one, contact me. Go to helpfromsteve.com, and I'll help you out and recommend the world's best list broker, because I use him, and so do all the top marketers that I know. He's the best. and he would help you out. Oh, I know what list you can use. So you could find people that belong to certain clubs. Veterans are going to tend to be more conservative. Older folks going to be more conservative. People who went to a certain college going to be more conservative than ones who went to a liberal college. People that own certain things, that subscribe to certain magazines and publications that belong to different clubs, so forth. You want to find the who and send them an irresistible offer of why to take the action you want. In this case, the irresistible offer is, if you vote for this, you can have more freedom. That's irresistible to someone who loves freedom like me. So a lot of times I teach the WOW strategy, the irresistible offer, and people always think that defaults the price. Well, gee, I'm already giving some free, or I can't discount it more. It's not all about price. In fact, this has nothing to do with it. There's no price. There is no cost involved. So they can't say, voting is free, and if you vote the other way, it costs you money. Well, in this case, they do. That's the message. If you vote the other way, it will cost you money. More money will be sucked out of your pocket by the politicians and put some into their own pockets and some into their friends' pockets, because that's the way the world works, doesn't it? I take care of my friends. Do you take care of your friends? You think politicians are the only people on earth that don't take care of their friends? Don't be ridiculous. That's how it works. So that's the irresistible offer. Keep more of your own money. Yeah, that's pretty irresistible to someone that likes keeping, that works, number one. So if they're unemployed and they're, sucking off of food stamps and welfare and this and that, they're going to tend to say, yeah, suck more money out of people like Steve Sipress' pocket, who works really hard. Here he is. It's 7:05 here in Arizona, and I'm still working. I'm recording my daily Facebook Live video that goes out onto my podcast and everything else. So suck all the money that he's making, suck some of that out of his pocket, and give me more food stamps and more welfare, more whatever. So people that like freedom, that's an irresistible offer. Keep more of your own money. And by the way, and every philanthropist I know, every wealthy person I know, we give away our time and money all the time. But we give it where we want to choose it, not where bureaucrats and politicians think. Not to mention it goes into their pockets, their friends. I don't care who donated to who, and who's your brother, and who's your friend, and who you owe a favor to, Mr. Politician. I'll determine what charities I'm going to give money to, and what causes I'm going to help, and where I'm going to donate my time and money to. That's called freedom. That's called America. Anyway, enough of a rant. You can tell I'm pretty excited for Election Day, even though I know that, one vote, not going to. I don't think I'm going to see the results of any election in all of Arizona tomorrow, and all the area I'm in where one vote made the difference. Doesn't matter. I'm always going to vote. I'm an American. That's what I do. People died for my right to vote. How insulting to them if I don't vote. And I'm just going to come right out and say it in an OBS way. Shame on you if you don't vote. There are people that died for your right to vote. You don't exercise that? Unbelievably insulting. So if you hate freedom and you love more government control, then vote the other way of whatever that thing was, and vote against everything I'm for. Fine. Just vote. Get out there. Vote. And that'll do it for Direct Mail Monday. So sad that that's the only political mail piece I received this entire election campaign. How dumb by the politicians. And by the way, because I received nothing in the mail except that one piece about all these, like a dozen proposals I got to read, I had to go onto the internet and search for where is the explanation of these things, and I had to find an online pamphlet and read through and do all my own research. And how much smarter would it have been for someone to just do that and say, hey, do you like this? Then you want to vote this way for us, and to sway me one way or the other using something that cost, 50 cents, something to mail out. If you really care about getting elected, you would want to use all the effective ways you can, and that would, of course, include still the most powerful, cost-effective way there is of making money in all of marketing. It's direct mail. All the top companies, all the smart marketers use it. And all the dumb ones and all the failures say things like, oh, but that costs money. Yeah, right, it does. That's called business, right? You invest money to make money. If you're running a hobby, then you say things like, I just use social media, or I do an e-newsletter, but I don't mail out a newsletter. Dumb, 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 as dumb as all the politicians around here that didn't send me anything except the one piece. That'll do it. Thanks to everyone being here live. Oh, I see Rochelle Sue was here. It's not even telling me you were here, but I thank you for the likes. I don't know how that works. How can you, well, I love it. Put a like, put a love, and didn't even show me that you were here. So if you made a comment or concern, it's not showing me that either. I apologize, but I will answer it afterwards. And also anyone watching on the replay. So have a fun night and have a fun election day tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. It's Topical Tuesday. And can you imagine what topic I'm going to be talking about? Hope you'll join me then. That's it for today. Thanks for being here. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.